thoughts, views, and comments expressed by the hosts, guests, and callers on Beyond the Headlines are not necessarily those of management, ownership, or production unit of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without express written permission of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2021.
Tonight, as fears and questions build about air safety, Aviation Minister Chester Cooper is assuring Bahamians about the safety of the airspace here in the Bahamas. The discussion continues on serial offender Sidney Cooper. A psychiatrist weighs in. And KB and Friends, it's his major event coming up tomorrow evening. We speak with KB. Also, it's Financial Literacy Fridays. Howard Johnson rounds out tonight's show with some pertinent information just for you. This is Beyond the Headlines, Week in Review Fridays. Good evening. I'm Shanique Miller. It's great to have you along this evening. An unfortunate crash between an American Airlines plane and a helicopter, a Black Hawk helicopter, claimed the lives of about 60 people in what is being titled and described as the deadliest air disaster since 2001 in the United States. While here at home, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Tourism, Investment and Aviation, Chester Cooper, is addressing affairs that have emerged here.
Our thoughts and our prayers go out to American Airlines and all the people of the USA in particular who were impacted as a result of the crash. Whenever we see these things, for people who travel a lot, it becomes a very sobering moment. But it just goes to show how fortunate we are as a country and a people to not have had any of these kinds of incidences over the many years in the Bahamas. Our thoughts and prayers go out firstly to the families. Of course, American Airlines is one of our greatest partners, bringing 30% of all of our traffic to the Bahamas. We reached out today to the senior management expressing our thoughts, our prayers, and our sympathies. No doubt there will be learning moments, and it will make aviation industry stronger still. I think you see more car accidents than plane accidents, and it is quite normal to have some anxiety and some fear after an incident like this. But the reality is that people will still fly, people will still come to the Bahamas, especially from that northeastern territory. So we're looking forward to receiving more and more. But today we just offer our thoughts and prayers to all of the people impacted and the families that may have been hurt as a result of the accident.
All legitimate concerns. And this is where we're going to jump in right here this evening with the Hot Topics panelists and, of course, Beyond the Headlines contributors. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines, Leslie Miller and Michael Turnquest. Gentlemen, good evening to both of you.
Good evening to you. Good evening, Bahamas.
Good evening, Shanique. Good evening, Bahamas.
Yes, guys, you heard the Aviation Minister Cooper talk about air safety, giving assurances that, there's no need for fear. The Bahamas airspace is safe, all of it. But the concerns are quite legitimate, because when you see what is supposed to be the most advanced, the safest nation in the world, the leader in the world in most, if not every industry, having this sort of kind of almost sloppy incident in terms of air traffic controllers and what took place in the Washington area, it is cause and a real need for questioning here locally.
Shanique, you have to ask. I mean, when you look at a lot of our family islands and the infrastructure, and we talk about, safety of aircrafts and things of that sort, that's number one. I mean, nobody is safe. I mean, at the end of the day, landing on some of our airports and some of our family islands is very questionable. You have more potholes on the runways than what you have on the actual streets itself in some islands, Long Island especially. Check Stella Maris out.
Long Island?
Well, I mean, and that's just one. I mean, there are many airports where the infrastructure is lackluster. But just look at, and then you look at the thing. We saw the Pilots Association was on the other day. They were talking about the copy and paste exam that someone would have thrown on them, and it's quite obvious because like they said inside their interview some months ago, the Bahamas, we have no mountains, we have no snow, we have none of these things. Nothing pertains to them. So why are you giving them questions that they? Of course, I would assume that they would have not be prepared for, because they have no plans to flying for any international airline going into Colorado, anywhere of that sort. So
But I would imagine if they have aspirations, because there are Bahamian pilots flying all over the world. So when those aspirations emerge, then they have to sit those exams.
Right, you have to sit those exams.
Yeah.
Every new plane that you go on, you have to do training, and you have to do an exam. You have to do the I forget what it's called, where they get into the.
Airworthiness, various
the simulator. They get into the simulator and they do everything in terms of as it relates. But at the end of the day, there are so many things in our airspace that go on. We still see people flying the deck all over the islands. You still see. I mean, look at some of our flying the deck, where people come down. They at maybe 50 feet, some 60 feet in the air, flying across beaches. And regattas are going on, things that that sort. We still see that foolishness happening. So I mean, for to say that we should feel safe at times, no. Sometimes
we know just recently, unfortunately, we have had some incidents, and
yes,
thank God for skilled, I would say, pilots, where we remember the Andrus incident just a few months ago.
Weeks ago,
the Andrus incident, where he landed in the water, but of course, just the whole trauma of it all led to the unfortunate.
And what led to that? Someone telling them they can't land for whatever reason. Only God knows. At the end of the day, if you look at the Washington situation, protocol was set, whereas I think it seemed as though it was the Army's fault, because the policy is they should fly at 200 feet.
They should not be flying at that level.
They were too high.
They were 400 feet.
They were at 400 feet. And I guess they're usually used to that path being cleared, because that was not the main runway. They were asked to veer off from the main runway to come onto the shorter runway at last minute. So I guess to me it's clear what the issue is there.
It's air traffic controllers having issues everywhere. Apparently, maybe incompetence. We heard Trump talk about it, and we tend to want to
bring in research.
Yeah, but no, we weren't about that now. We talk about this, but competence level though, competence level, and it don't matter who the race is, competence, because that's lives you're playing with. So bringing it back here locally, where we have seen incidents where airworthiness or aircraft worthiness of what's been happening. Last year we had several incidents that we can refer to of aircraft worthiness in the Bahamas, and so to hear the aviation minister address it and give assurances, it's excellent. But what real might is behind those words, Leslie?
But the problem I have with all of this is this. Just in the newspapers this morning, the people that run the Grand Bahama new port that they're upgrading now, almost $1 billion investment. They're saying there's inadequate hotel space in Grand Bahama. And again, they mentioned, when is the damn hotel in Grand Bahama, not the hotel, the airport, going to get started? There's been a lot of talk with all these airports and the Family Islands that's going to be resurfaced and this and that, but you've seen little action to these airports.
Well, Leslie,
where tourists fly every hour in and out, and people complaining about a lot of potholes on the airports.
In Grand Bahama,
I'm talking about many of the Family Islands.
I think the only airport that was outsourced, the one in Bimini.
Remember, Michael and Leslie, when Western Air for a moment decided not to fly into an airport.
That's right.
Last year,
That's right.
Because they said the potholes were destroying their aircraft.
So, the minister need to get on these things. First of all, I'd like to see the hotel in Freeport, Seoul, that it could be open. It really bothers me that there was a lot of fanfare on this hotel being sold, and Freeport is going to be revived again. We're going to put a new airport in Freeport.
What is the hold up there?
Everybody got to do their job.
But isn't that something to do
Everybody
with
do their
Grand
job.
Bahama Port Authority and the government? Isn't that?
No, it's nothing to do with. It's something to do with. Listen, investors came in here. The announcement was made. You had a lot of fanfare that the hotel is being sold. That was in the newspapers, on television, everything else. Something went awry It didn't happen. I understand. It's put in the hand of the Prime Minister now for him to carry that load by himself. So when one screw up, they dump it on him and run with the picture. Okay? The question now is, you're talking about the airports. There's a lot of fanfare that we got some money from Saudi Arabia, the special fund.
Or the Luther,
We'd like to see it done instead of the hype.
There is work being done on the 3 Luther airports, though. There is
On the
work, improvements.
On the runways and what have you?
I don't know about the runways. I know about the actual airports, the facilities themselves.
Roxanne Airport, the runways are the meat. To me, I don't care. At this point in time, you're talking about safety. The runways are what is key in ensuring passenger safety. All they want to do is get to the terminal. It don't matter when you land and you end up in the bush somewhere.
Yeah.
You're trying to get to the terminal. You're trying to end up in the bush or across the road, or in the water or some land.
Let us see these infrastructure work take place in the
we need to take more up the priority should be infrastructure.
It actually should be, and each runway should be aircraft worthy. Because we have so many,
tourism.
We absolutely,
number one industry.
Tourism, number one industry.
Okay.
We have so many private jets, as you both know. We have commercial airlines that we're trying to attract and continue it. So you know what? It's good to hear him assure about air
Needs
safety.
To be done, man.
And then,
the rhetoric,
but you know what? Also, let's go back to some air traffic controller talk for a moment. I don't know the industry. I'm not sure what's done. Are they recertified every so often? But we would also hope that's in place, huh?
Yeah, and I guess, I think it seems, I would hope that they are, the qualifications are met, everything is in place, because that's a very serious job.
That's life or death.
That's life or death.
That's life or death.
I'm not saying that they're not. All I'm saying is that just ensure that people aren't slipping.
All the safety measures are in place.
Everything are in place. You meet the criteria, and you are qualified to do that particular job, because that's a multitask. You're multitasking. You're looking all over for making sure certain aircrafts are certain height, and it's a lot to do. I always you look at some of these busy airports in the U.S. and you wonder how do they manage?
Do they do it?
Because it's
Atlanta Airport, the busiest in the world.
How do they do it,
LA, New York.
Yeah.
And then we got to look at some of our southern islands, that are becoming more busy, and now you get more flights coming in, and they're just some of them. It's just a wait and land game.
The other question is, are we putting sufficient pressure on these so-called hackers that are still over in these family islands, driving these airplanes that are not airworthy? And getting away with it.
Just all about the place.
And getting away with it.
Well, as Michael said a minute
That's
ago,
what they need to do. Ensure that when tourism come here or Bahamians go on that plane is airworthy. You have the necessary qualifications, and your plane has all of the fixtures and the wherewithal that you can fly in there and stay in the air. That's what the ministry should be responsible for.
We want to make sure we be proactive in these type of situations, not be reactive when something happens.
Get it done.
Here's what we need to change. Learn from other people's mistakes and see what we need to do to clean up our own.
We must. So it's good to hear him out front speaking about it so soon after what happened, unfortunately, and our thoughts and prayers are with families over there in the United States and wherever they hail from. Certainly, of course. So it's good to hear Cooper kind of getting out front and making assurances here. But listen, make the words matter, eh? Make it done, man.
Stop the rhetoric.
Make it reality.
Stop the fanfare.
Make it reality.
Yeah.
You can take all the damn pictures you want to take and say this instead of people want to see results. I really, believe me, on behalf of every Bahamian in Grand Bahama, we want to see that hotel sold and see that hotel come back to life again.
We see a lot of shovels. We see a lot of shovels go in the ground, but no buildings come out.
I ain't got time for this foolishness, man. This rhetoric on getting the play on the newspaper. There's foolishness on WhatsApp and all this garbage, man.
A shovel go in the ground.
Get it done. Let me see the buildings rise. I don't want to see no shovel in the damn ground. That don't mean nothing to nobody. But the hotel in Freeport must be sold before the next general election.
And once it's sold, that hotel, is it even relevant to occupancy anymore?
But
Probably not.
And the issue is still comes into play. It's still the issue with the airport.
The airport.
You
That's
still
the
have
key.
an issue with the airport, which is the key.
Yes.
That's the lifeline of the island in terms of getting the tourists in. The cruise ships only coming in for a day.
Investors would not be, they would be more inclined if that was in place, you're saying, and done.
That should have been our priority. That should have been the government's priority from day one. Going in.
Guys,
it's been now 3.5 years. It was sold for $1. Again, they pulled one on the F&M. Okay? Then it came into the PLP hands. Then you got this loan from Saudi Arabia, wherever the hell it comes from. When is it going to start? Then you had this British crew, who I believe sued the government because of whatever happened with the first contract. Nobody want to hear that no more. When you make these signals, you come on television, you go in the newspaper, all this hoopla that Jesus just arrived. Let us see Jesus do something, minus the pegs. Because these Jesus I see around here don't have no pegs in their damn hand. Okay? I got one Savior, that's Jesus Christ our Lord.
Listen,
But get it done, please, man, get it done.
You know what?
Or you could be gone.
There can be no arguments in anything that you all have said. None.
Get it done.
None. The arrest, moving along, the arrest of serial offender, sexual offender, Sidney Cooper, this week following his latest alleged sexual offense raised eyebrows on the battles serial offenders are challenged with inside their minds. And so we're gonna kind of look at this from a psychiatric standpoint. Linton Ritchie Jr. has the story, and then we'll come back and discuss, because if you recall last night, I introduced some additional information.
The mind of a serial sex offender is one that the average human will never quite understand. At least that's what medical professionals tell us. Psychiatrists in country claim the mind behind the offender is poisoned with loads of trauma. Eyewitness News sat down with Bahamas Department of Correctional Services Psychiatric Medical Officer Dr. Sean Knowles, who assesses various patients weekly to seek answers on the initial telltale signs of an offender.
Some do have mental health issues, not all. So some of the key ones that I'm seeing would entail substance use disorders. That's very high on the list. Also, those may have personality disorders, for example, antisocial personality disorders, and even borderline personality disorders, and even in terms of childhood trauma.
Known serial sex offender 49-year-old Sidney Cooper has once again found himself behind bars for allegedly committing indecent assault against a 68-year-old woman last week. But he is one of many men to reoffend on sex crimes. But one might ask, why would an individual seek to recommit an offense which he has already spent time behind bars for?
Their beliefs, their distorted beliefs, their cognitive distortions as it relates to sex. You end up taking part in an activity, it becomes a habit, even a lifestyle, which is very, very difficult to break.
As a veteran medical staffer, Knowles says the assistance those serial offenders need should continue beyond the gates of the jailhouse.
When they leave the Bahamas Department of Correctional Services, because the rehabilitation, even in terms of treating the mental illness, has to continue. So even though they get the treatment while they're there, what happens after they leave?
And the burning question, with sufficient resources, could those once known to be a serial sex offender change their ways?
Well, as long as there's life, there's hope. You know, and I'm a spiritual person, and I believe that God is able to help people to change for the better. Right? And I've actually seen that happen.
Now, last year, Minister of National Security Wayne Munro revealed a mental health and psychiatric unit will be introduced to BDOCS, which Knowles echoed is needed. Linton Ritchie Jr., Eyewitness News.
Gentlemen, of course, you all see that there, and that's good to sort of understand the psychology of it all, or the mind maybe of a serial offender. This is, I will not pass judgment on this matter. It's still under investigation, because I want you guys to be aware of, and you have seen it as well. Last evening on the show, I introduced some video from that store. Yeah, you saw it, Leslie. Mm-hmm. Allegedly showing Sidney Cooper and the woman accusing him, yes, the lady in question, and their interaction. Again, it's only video. I'm not the investigator. I don't have all the information. But according to that video that the owner of the store provided to the person who was housing and employing Sidney Cooper, allegedly, we saw what appeared to be a long discussion over some tomatoes.
Some tomatoes, yeah.
Some tomatoes.
He had one in his hand, she had one in her hand.
Yeah. So did he expose himself and rub himself up against this woman? That question is out there. There's the video right there. There it is. That was provided, and the people, I mean, they absolutely hunted me down yesterday. Throughout the day, yesterday, they tired me out in order to get this on and speak to this, because they wanted to defend him and come to his defense. Is he someone with a problem? Yes. Is he someone with a history of sexual offending? Mm-hmm. Yes. But they're saying in this instance, Shanique, we do not believe him to have done this. This is why they sent this video to me and traced from, I'm talking in the morning straight up to 8 o'clock last night. This is what they, as you can see right there, the two people, the person there, the male in this video, that's Sydney, and they have tomatoes in their hands and they're discussing the tomatoes and the rest of it. And so this is how Pastor, I think, Ethma Roll spoke last night on this show and talked about this. Guys, your thoughts about, it's not much to say, but just about the fact that what?
Shanique, I mean, I can't comment on, on that situation in terms of what have happened. You could only right now based on video footage. But, it's always said, and I've said it over and over again, we continue to let persons, whether it be serial, repeat rapists, murderers, attempted murderers, we see them go in and out, and we ask, are they fully reformed? It's always the question I ask. We continue to let people back out on the streets, and then, a month, 3 months, 6 months later, back in Fox Hill. How long are we going to continue doing this? The shuffle, it's like a in and out, in and out, in and out. And when are we going to take it serious? When are the courts? When are we going to really take this serious? Because some people just don't deserve to be back on the streets again. And I'm not saying that that's in this particular case, but I'm just saying in general, we really need to figure out when are people fully reformed before we can actually let them back out on the streets, whether it be a murderer, a attempted murder, or even just straight down to someone who just like the thief. A thief is a
serial
thief. A serial thief, you want to call it. No matter what they do, as soon as you let them back out, some of them just prefer to be in Fox Hill. They just thief again.
I think the broader question is, for what we saw on those tapes, did he or did he not interfere with this lady? You're innocent until you're proven guilty.
Absolutely.
We realize that he has a bad record, but in this instance, is this lady, saying something happened that didn't happen for whatever reason? Is she looking for publicity to say this is the bad guy and here's the bad guy doing wrong again?
And we've seen cases like that that we spoke about many times.
Even recently.
With the police.
Remember what the police?
Exactly.
Where the fella had a relationship with this other lady mom, and when they say he raped her, and he had a relationship and it wasn't rape. You don't know what the hell is going on in this country anymore, man. But I wouldn't want to really pick on the guy because of what he did before.
And I agree.
And you said because he was in the food center room was there, he did it again. If he didn't do it, he didn't do it. And he shouldn't be castrated if he didn't do it wrong.
Yep.
Because it's only fair.
Yeah.
And I don't, the woman looked sort of provocative to me. I don't know if the fella, I don't know what the hell he did, but I didn't see him do anything.
And things like this, it could happen to me or you.
Yeah, they could accuse me.
They could accuse us of just walking past and saying,
touch on the backside or something. You don't know, but people say things.
But it's very
for different reasons.
Just because they might not even. I just don't like pot cake.
Yeah,
so
Yeah, gentlemen, again, we will see how that investigation unfolds involving Sidney Cooper in this latest incident. Certainly, of course, but we were just happy to bring that video as well, in addition, to all that's happening in that matter. I thank you both very much. It's good to see you both. Have a great weekend. But don't go anywhere, because when we come back, we are going to be speaking with KB, guys. You all know we all love KB. Love his music. Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to talk with KB when we come back after the break.
He's written over 400 songs. You believe that?
Bahamas, are you ready? 2025. Keep the Bible Live Music Group present KB. Boy, you don't know me yet. It's KB. KB and Friends. The Boatman Show.
All you Rick and Scrape lovers out there, Saturday, February 1st, Keep the Bible Live Music Group invites you out to enjoy some Bahamian culture.
With Collect.
KB and Friends in concert, The Boatman Show.
Saturday, February 1st at the Fall Marshall Road.
Can't wait to see you there.
The legendary KB and Friends. Just added Sweet Emily, plus Tino D, Colin McDonald, Irish Store in the Spank Band, Falcon Pockets, Ancient Man, Mama Dish, Shine 242 and more.
KB and Friends in concert at the farm, Saturday, February 1st.
Tickets on sale at the Beauty Shack. Low location, General 50, VIP 80. And for the Platinum fans, exclusive skyboxes are available. Gates open at 7 p.m. For more info, call ESC Distributors at 394-0819. Let's keep the vibe alive.
What? You don't know who TDC is? Tourism Development Corporation?
You mean the Ministry of Tourism?
No, that ain't the same thing, buddy. The Tourism Development Corporation helps to develop and grow Bahamian businesses in the tourism industry. You hear what they say, buddy?
Oh, yeah.
Develop and grow. You don't know what all the things saying do?
What does do?
Well, check the website, boy.
Start your journey to ownership of our #1 industry today. Log on to tdcbahamas.com.
If you enjoy watching Beyond the Headlines, take advantage of our exclusive offers with 4 15-minute interview segments at $1,200 and 20 30-second TV ads at $2,000. Contact 557-0258 or 557-0259 for more information. Go beyond with Beyond the Headlines.
This segment of Beyond the Headlines is brought to you by EV Motors. Drive the future with brand new 2024 electric vehicles. EV Motors, powering your journey.
Well, you hear in the background right there that familiar voice talking about his hits, and I'll tell you, we all love them, right? Because they almost like they paint the storyline of what is Bahamian, what it means to be Bahamian, and so many things that are so timely. I was telling him a minute ago, Jokey Leaders applies. Like, it's so many of his songs. KB, you have no idea. Many of your songs just resonate, even if it's just for fun.
Yes.
You know, I'm not trying to point in any direction when I said Jokey Leaders. I just mean people like them. Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. Of course, this is Week in Review Fridays, but this is no review because we're talking about KB and Friends concert. You've seen the advertisement for the last several weeks, really. On the show tomorrow evening at the farm. KB will be there with a number of big names, his friends, as they, of course, begin 2025 with some good, wonderful Bahamian music. Good evening to you. Happy New Year.
Evening.
Welcome to Beyond the
Thank
Headlines.
you very much. Happy New Year. Happy New Year, Bahamas.
Listen, KB, let's just talk about KB and Friends. I'm first of all, you have you always a big draw. I'll tell you this, every time we sit here and and the ad comes on, Leslie lights up, anybody in the room lights up, everybody talks about the fact that, Michael, you don't have to shake to light, but everyone in the room talks about the fact that, man, oh yeah, KB, when is this? How have you maintained all these years? No, you don't have to pay me. You don't have to pay me. It's real. How have you maintained all these years this appeal in the Bahamian public space?
You know, when you like say when you come with new songs, or you try to at least keep the public, you know, keep them like enthralled, keep them guessing what you're gonna bring. It's almost like I love coming with new ideas, coming at new things that describe us as a people. And I think when the Bahamian people see that I can write to us and I can speak to us, and they can see that mirror, it makes them feel, you know, like, hey, he's speaking for us. It's like what Bob Marley was, you know, or was to Jamaica or any Jamaican artist. I want to make Bahamians feel proud to know that I'm writing and I'm speaking to us, because I think we are great people, and I think we deserve that, even to our faults. That's why I write those things like, you know, like Stroke Man or She Want a Thug, those things that are really Bahamian, or, you know, when I see a red plate, things like that, you know, you got these red plates driving all over the place when it even in work time. You know, that's the kind of stuff I love writing, and things that really point out things in our society.
Many of them are timeless, though. I mean, you have written some songs like a minute ago, but in 2025, people still say, play some Jokey Leaders. If they see a red plate, they see a red plate somewhere where it shouldn't be, or whatever it may be.
And that's what you try to speak to, again, those things that, even so, that's why I think that Boatman had such an impact. Like, Boatman speaks to us of, you know, we come from that fishing village, and it still like applies, although we're not a fishing village anymore, especially here in New Providence, but we still have that in us. That's still, that culture is
It's
still there.
when you hear that,
Yes.
it takes you back to a
Yes,
time
yes,
that
yes,
was so
yes.
beautiful, uniquely Bahamian.
And that's what I believe in speaking to. So that's what I said. So right, I try to get on those things that make us feel good about ourselves. That's how I feel. Just because she fought, like most people
Listen,
think,
that,
you know,
that-
again.
I remember seeing you perform
Yes.
that. I'll tell you this. I was a kid, right? And
Thank you
I
for that.
remember, I don't know, I was okay, I was a girl. But you did a performance, Town Center Mall, you could tell how long this was. I was a kid.
Yes.
They had something going on and you were there, and that's the first time I heard that song. And that, I grew up still thinking of that to this day even.
Like again, at that time, that was that song came out in 1989. I had released Juicy Susie in 87.
Oh, yeah.
So Juicy Susie was like my first solo song.
Leslie, what does Juicy Susie mean to you?
You know, in 87, that was my first solo hit. And at the time, you know, ZNS is that one that broke that song. Because, you know, it was only one radio station at the time. And 2 years later, I go into Nassau and She Fought is the thing, and then that blows up like nitro. I never in my wildest dream saw me, you know, like arriving there and this happening in my life. I always thought I was going to do some music. It's going to be, I can make an impact, but never to the extent. And now I have Boatman. I think that's probably going to eclipse She Fought.
Well, we're going to talk about Boatman in a minute, but when you say just because she fought, what was the inspiration for that? Besides these women with these massive...
Well, you know, yeah, so we show that it ain't only those African ladies got to do it. The Bahamians, we got them right there. Although we all, you know, we Africans, anyway, but we got them too. No, She Fought, actually when the idea came, a friend of mine, he was in the band with Ego Trip in the band with me. His name is Sidney Rule. Sidney is passed now. He's the one he passed last year. And Sid, like this, we used to be up in the States, and Sid had this girl with some size on her. And I said to Sid, I'm going to write a song with you one day, you know, joking around. And when I finally moved to Nassau and I needed an idea, I sat down with Rudy Grant. And I said, Rudy, I think I'm writing, doing da-da-da-da. And Rudy said, okay, let me know. He thought it was going to be all the meat. But when I took it home and I
All
said,
the meat,
yeah,
yes.
well, you just discovering
Oh
this
my,
song.
no, I just heard that when you say it, see, you all don't understand that your what you call it, repertoire?
Yes.
It is huge.
Yes.
I mean, KB really
I forget about him.
Hello, KB has written the songs that have defined times in Bahamian life and even brought smiles to us when we needed it so much.
Yes. But so when Rudy, because we used to perform, me and this New Sensation, we used to perform All the Meat on stage just before it was recorded. But we noticed that the crowd loved, when that song comes on, they love come to the floor. So that was already tested. We knew it was a hit. It was tested. But my first song was going to be, I sat down, I said, hey, that idea, I said to Sid, I'm going to write with this big girl, this fat girl. And that's how it came. And I wrote that then. And Rudy thought it was going to be, when I read Rudy listened to it, he said, Rudy said, yeah. Rudy said, Craig just only need a little bit of speed. We can speed it up a little bit. And that was it. And again, ZNS broke that song. Again, there was only one station. And it was all she wrote. After that, it inspired Gino to write Gala Good. And Gino came. Remember, if you see how all this started to come, Gino did, and then it was me and Gino going back and forth at each other. And then I came and I produced and wrote Crazy Boyo for Funky D. And so you can see how the business started to grow. And then I produced Emily's album, the first Sweet Emily album. And again, everything. So the industry at that time was just growing and growing and growing. Remember, Ronnie was still around. All these things were just happening. And you know what? Thinking about it now is really taking me back.
It is so amazing. And you know, we're going to talk about KB and Friends in a sec, but you have such a wide array of hits, not just even releases and songs. Hit songs. Are you disappointed in a way that maybe in the Bahamas we good? We know what we say things and how we say things, but maybe some places you can't go and perform or say just because she fat. Just because of the times now and how people...
Let's say if I go to America. You said if I go to America?
Yeah, the sensitive nature of people.
Let's say this, I'm going to lie to you. I think if I went into America right now and sang that song, I don't think it would be a problem. You know, I think the way we present it or we bring it across in our Bahamian vernacular in our way, I don't see that happening, but I understand the time that you're saying. A couple of years ago, I was in New York and I performed Bush Mechanic. Now, I'm up there with Trucks. There's no band, me Trucks. And I'm saying, I'm up on the stage, big crowd out there, big audience. And I'm saying, okay, Kirk, how you gonna bring this across? And I had to bring it across very comically. I had to break it down for them to understand. And the audience was killing themselves laughing because they now see what I was, they could see what I was saying. Because I remember our diction versus them hearing it, that's,
Yes.
And so I had to learn that and I had to learn how to break it down for them. So, but I understand what it is now. Like I have a song called Girl, Your Husband Funny. He liked to tell the joke. Now, what that song is saying is what you hear in the front of your face. But what the song is actually saying is your husband is a comic. He's really, he like to go around and he'll do things with you with other guys. And your husband doing all these things. He's being a real nice guy to you. But none of us guys, we don't do that stuff. We don't hang out with you. We don't do you hang out, like do all these good things for a woman. But he does it. So he must be a jokey guy. And that's what it is. It ain't about when you throw it in your face, yeah, your husband funny. But if you listen to the song, you will see what it is.
Because I went right there.
Yes.
I was like,
no. Again,
married?
it's a play on the words.
Yeah,
There's another song.
I know Caribbean music is always, particularly what Bahamians do. I think all soca type kind of songs play on words, of course.
Yes.
Like pipe and all this bunch of stuff.
Like what?
How much?
And there's another one I have called Little Richard. And again, those same, and it's there to make you laugh and show you how you can use the English language to write. And I think other than you being graphic and being, I guess, kind of nasty, I think there's nothing wrong with being clever.
Listen, Caribbean music and Bahamian music, they go there,
yes,
but they do it so craftily that it is nothing nasty about it.
Yes.
It ain't what the little trap music and thing we hear nowadays. No, we have always kept it right here, but we each know what we mean.
The inspiration was Ronnie Butler's, like the Party album. You remember Ronnie Butler, She Going for Kane. You had Bang Bang Lulu, all those where you said clever writing, but it really moved the minds. It shows you that these guys are really in tune and really smart guys and clever. Mm-hmm. That's what I truly loved about what Ronnie brought to the business.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, really awesome. I wanted to ask you about, because we're coming up on a election season, and you also speak to the seriousness of the nation in your wonderful, humorous, very talented way, but you also speak to that. Yes. Any kind of those releases coming out, particularly in for this cycle?
Well, if you notice for this 5 years going, you ain't see, you ain't hearing from me.
No, not at all.
I see, but it's not like I still don't speak to the culture. Like let's say, because of Boatman, it's been blocking a lot of like the new music that's coming on. You ain't hearing it as much because Boatman is like the song for everyone to listen to. But there are some things that speak to the culture that I've done. Now, I am bringing some stuff out, I guess, by the time the elections are, I'm going to be bringing some things that speak to what we are, who we are, That's coming. But I'm not, it's not to be vicious or vindictive. It's, if someone like Leslie will know that I've worked with the PLP, I'm the one who wrote Fresh Wind for Therese. If I tell you the motive words I've wrote for the PLP, motive word I wrote for the FNM, it's not about me being vindictive. Again, I always tell people I'm a Linden PLP. Mm-hmm, but it's about, if you hire me,
then you get the
gunslinger.
Yes, and which we must understand, in the Bahamas, because many artists just middle of the road,
yes.
And we know what's common during election season. Many parties quickly grab onto somebody who is a crowd favorite,
yes.
and they carry them throughout the campaign. It's not about you being this or that or the next thing. It's about you making that coin and performing.
Yeah, I think if I bring what you think about, like Nishi Ellis's Loose Me, I thought that song was timely. I don't think it was political. I think it was an organic song. It was a beautiful song. It's a beautiful song. But I think it was timely because it says Loose Me. That was during COVID, and it spoke to the time. Mm-hmm. You understand? Mm-hmm. But it wasn't vindictive. It wasn't but it spoke to the other party. Could have said, yeah, that's an idea. You understand?
Yeah.
And that's what.
Because again, you're so timely with your messaging and the music and the lyrics. It just speaks to where the Bahamas is.
Yes.
What is the inspiration behind? I mean, we know it's going to be a beautiful cultural show. You've been a cultural ambassador you've lobbied on behalf of not just yourself, but the industry in general, of getting more respect, of having, for example, things like your music recognized in the way of copyrights and all
Yes.
this stuff. What's the inspiration for tomorrow evening, KB and Friends?
You know, well, let's say we came out of last year with Best of the Best in May, Best of the Best in November, and Les just said to me, that's Les Turnquest of Keep the Vibe Alive Music. Les says to me, Kirk, we want to celebrate you this year in New Providence, because you know we had a KB and Friends in Grand Bahama, which was again well attended, big show, and he wanted to celebrate me here, and that's what this was about. At this time, you know, Boatman is huge. That's because it's called KB and Friends, the Boatman Show, and I had never done a real big concert with the Boatman here in New Providence, so this was my first time introducing myself with the song, with KB and Friends. And a lot of these people who are my friends are ones I've written songs with, I've maybe produced or mentored or whatever, so or just friends like a Sweet Emily, like a Gino D. These are comrades in the time. So it all works together. And then I look at the audience out there as my friends also. Those who attended the show, those who knew me, they saw me from Family Island Lounge back in the day, or, you know, they know me. They rub shoulders with me. They are my friends. So I think at this age, you see all this gray on me, I'm at that point in my life where, you know, I'm one-on-one, although I'm more of a recluse, because to be a recluse, and I think to get really get into your craft, that's important. Mm-hmm. You can't be in every party.
No, you can't.
And then get the work done. So I try to
have new inspiration.
There you go. Especially, I know you see the words, like when you see a word, like you see me in Cuba, when you see me go to Cuba, I'm on lockdown for writing. Mm-hmm. Most of these songs you've been hearing, like Boatman, I wrote them over there. Because I'm at peace. I don't have any,
distractions.
There you go. I just sit down. I have a setup. I have a setup in all areas. If I have a setup, then I can do my work. And but everything has to come back home, because home is where the sound is. Home is where the rake and scrape is. Mm-hmm. I can write and come out there and bring that. Okay, Cuckoo Soup was written in New York. That was written right off Broadway.
Cuckoo Soup too.
I remember looking at bricks.
You should
I look
see
at the window,
the smile on Leslie's face as you are going down memory lane, because I think Leslie misbehaved to each of these songs. Listen, what is Cuckoo Soup about?
No, Cuckoo Soup is all about the power of women. Cuckoo Soup is about the power of women. It says to you that, like you see the lyrics say, she got the power, I'm under her control. And you'll see the other one, he'll say, God made man to rule the land, but when man then went to sleep, woman get the upper hand to make a brew better than voodoo. Better than Kung Fu. You remember Kung Fu? Then they call it cool. So this was the Obeah man telling them. Yeah. Because it's just a play on how we men have just let ourselves slip. Mm-hmm. And we let the testosterone get the better of us. In fact, I believe, and I want to lobby this to the government one day, when I'm going to lobby for testosterone in males to be considered a disability.
How so?
You don't understand. The men know what I'm talking about. Because according to how you gauge your quantity of testosterone in your body, that's how weak you are or how strong you are. Meaning that if let's say every normal male has a 50% testosterone level. If he drops into 30, 20, 10, his libido is extremely low and he probably can't move. But if he goes above 50, 60, 70, 80, he's probably a beast. Meaning that he's those guys you're talking about. Who's the problem? Most men stay normal. But even the normal guys go through hell. So
listen,
tell them they're going to put up the
Justin, by the way, you have to put up that, and I think he already put up the flyer. I'm sure he put the flyer. But listen, tomorrow, give us a sneak peek right now. Tomorrow, time, place, and of course, KB and Friends, the Boatman Show.
6 p.m. gates open.
Right
8 p.m. Okay, here. 6 p.m. the gates open. 8 p.m. show start, and it starts right on time. Police is going to be, security is going to be well enforced. Private security, police, Bahamas Police Force. We're going to have food, drinks going to be on the spot. Number of entertainment that's going to be from Gino D, Sweet Emily, Mama D, Fine Sean, the Falcons, Iris Store, Ancient Man, Ebony 242 Shot. And listen, Avi, I go all day with these names, but it's going to be a great show, and look for a great turnout, and come down and enjoy yourself and enjoy your culture and love yourself, man.
Enjoy your culture. That's so awesome, and we actually love our culture, absolutely, and we so adore KB because he's really sort of written the lyrics that paint the fabric of our lives here in the Bahamas and depict it so well. Thank you once again, KB.
Thank you very much.
Once again, it is KB and Friends, the Boatman Show tomorrow evening at the farm. You all know where that is, all the way out south. And starts at 6 o'clock. Get there, look cute, look cute because videos.
Say, don't put on no high heel if you can't dance in high heel.
That part. Yes, that part. Because you can keep somebody can call on stage, I'm sure this gonna happen.
Well, I can't say, but I know I stopped bringing women on stage.
Yeah.
I stopped bringing women.
Different topic for a different night. Thank you so much, KB.
Thank you very much, man. Thank you.
Absolutely. Don't go anywhere because when we come back, we're gonna pick up on our Financial Literacy Fridays right after this.
Bahamas, are you ready? 2025. Keep the Bible Live Music Group present KB. Why you don't know me? It's KB. It's KB and Frank. The Boatman Show.
All you Rick and Straight lovers out there, Saturday, February 1st, Keep the Bible Live Music Group invites you out to enjoy some Bahamian culture.
With Colette.
KB and Friends in concert, The Boatman Show.
Saturday, February 1st at the Farm, Marshall Road.
Can't wait to see you there.
The legendary KB and Friends. Your Sonic, Sweet Emily, plus Gino D, Colin McDonald, Irish Store in the Spank Man, The Falcons, Ancient Man, Mama D, Shine 242 and more.
KB and Friends in concert at the Farm, Saturday, February 1st.
Tickets on sale at the Beauty Shack. Low location, General 50, VIP 80. And for the Platinum fans, exclusive skyboxes are available. Gates open at 7 p.m. For more info, call ESC Distributors at 394-0819. Let's keep the vibe alive.
This new year, EV Motors is starting the year off strong with incredible savings on brand new electric vehicles. Charge into the new year with zero emissions and endless savings during our New Year clearance sale, where you can drive into 2025 with one of our brand new EVs at discounted prices. And that's not all. Take advantage of a special financing offer with CIBC Caribbean with a 4.5% interest rate and up to 10 years to repay. But hurry, the clock's ticking, and these deals won't last long. With our diverse selection, there's an EV here for everyone. Get the BYD Seagull Plus for as low as $258.43 per month. The Toyota BZ4X for as low as $512.91 per month. The BYD One Plus for as low as $392.79 per month. The BYD Song Plus for as low as $518 per month. The BYD Tank Plus for as low as $725.46 per month. The Mercedes-Benz for as low as $725.46 per month. The BMW iX3 for as low as $725.46 per month. The Carry Cargo Van for as low as $351.33 per month. And the Carry Elephant X7 truck for as low as $393.72 per month. Enjoy unbeatable clearance prices with our New Year clearance sale. Terms and conditions apply. Prices are VAT exclusive. It's the EV Motors New Year clearance sale. Call or visit us today to secure your brand new EV.
So you want a space. But not just any space. You need something with a little more potential. So how about 1,000 square feet of room to play with? Superb audio and video production capability, digital LED wall, full lighting grid, and about 124 seats to accommodate a full studio audience with so many other features. Make us your home for your next concert, conference, and so much more. Honestly, the possibilities are endless. Here at ILTV Studios, we'd love to bring your next event to life. So what do you say? Do you want our space?
If you enjoy watching Beyond the Headlines, take advantage of our exclusive offers with 4 15-minute interview segments at $1,200 and 20 30-second TV ads at $2,000. Contact 557-0258 or 557-0259 for more information. Go beyond with Beyond the Headlines.
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. Well, we're going to get back into some financial literacy for you. It's Financial Literacy Fridays. It's a series of shows we're doing for the next couple of weeks. And we are happy to have Howard Johnson of Young Money Solutions in Florida join us again. This is something that he has been contracted to do for many sort of vulnerable communities to get them thinking on the right path when it comes to money, respecting money, understanding the power of money, and then the power of money in their hands. And so tonight we're going to look at right-sizing your finances. And so let's get right into it. Steps to right-sizing your finances. Hello to you, Howard. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines. It's good to have you here.
Yes, good evening, Shanique. Thanks for having me, and good evening, Bahamas.
Thank you very much for joining us. I talked about the work that you do with many people and getting them to understand the money and the power of money and why money can work for you or hurt you if you don't respect it. Give us just a little bit before we begin steps to right-sizing your finances about exactly what you have been doing and how you've been trying to turn people's mindsets about money around.
Yes, well, just to give a quick recap of last week as well, it's all about right size. It begins with your mindset, because if you just jump into doing the work, Shanique.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah, you had frozen for a minute.
Oh, okay, sorry. Yeah. So I said that I just wanted to recap quickly and just let everybody know that the most important thing still is getting your mindset right, okay? Getting rid of feelings of guilt and shame around making mistakes with money and believing that you're just inherently bad with money. That's something that has to be dispelled right away, because there's those historical things that have happened and we can overcome them, but you have to have that mindset. You have to be willing to make sacrifices, and you have to be willing to be disciplined.
Well,
if
that's
you're willing
good.
to do those things,
yes,
then we're gonna get it done.
So it's good to hear that, because many people do carry around guilt about their finances and financial habits over the past. Like, oh my God, I worked that job for this many years and I made this amount of money, and what happened? Like, where is it? And so you're saying do not carry that baggage on your shoulders.
No, because this isn't about you inherently being a personal failure with money. It's about systemic barriers that have been historically set in place to restrict your access to both information and opportunity. And that's why we say that's not anyone's fault in underrepresented and underserved communities, but it's our responsibility to do something.
To change it, not to be stuck there.
Some of these impediments remain. Some of these impediments are still there in the system, but there are now opportunities and resources that we can do more than our forefathers could have done just 40, 50, 60 years ago.
Yes. Okay, so let's get started, Howard, because these segments go very, very quickly. So let's begin. You have several steps, even if we just get through two, but steps to right-sizing your finances. How do we start in 2025? How do we start right now?
Yeah, so right now, I want to give us one of the tools that we use at Young Money Solutions when we work with groups and individuals, right? And I don't know if you have the pictogram up.
Justin, yes. But he will put that up.
We have something called the 60-30-10 rule, right? And what the 60-30-10 rule is, it's a structured budgeting method where individuals can allocate their monthly income. So this is for monthly structuring of your income, right? You allocate your money to 3 specific areas, and we have this representation in the picture as a pie. So we have 60-30-10, which basically represents 60% needs, 30% savings and financial priorities, and 10% discretionary, okay? So what does this mean? So when you look at your income for the month in relation to this particular pie, 60% is going to go to what we call essential expenses, all right? And what are those essential expenses? Your housing needs, your transportation, your utilities, your groceries, your health care, and paying down your debt. Those are the needs. Those are the things that you need to do on a monthly basis to live. Essential expenses. And if you and so obviously the lion's share of what you make relative to income in any given month has to be allocated to your essential expenses. Now, the 30% is represented by your savings and your other financial priorities. What do we have in this category? We have your emergency fund, which we love at Young Money Solutions, your investing accounts, and some extra money allocated for debt repayment and future financial goals. You want to buy a home. You want to help pay for your child's future education expenses in college, et cetera, et cetera. Those are the things that you're going to be saving for under that savings and financial priorities category. That's the 30%. That's that 30% piece of the pie.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally, we have just 10%, just a measly 10% Bahamians.
And it sounds so small, but my God, people just for some reason don't like take that 10% and just put it somewhere to forget it.
No. So here's why you have to do this. So this 10% of discretionary spending represents your wants and lifestyle choices, entertainment and fun. Now, why is it a measly 10% out of 100% in this big pie? Well, because for so long, if we've been doing it wrong, maybe we were doing 60% discretionary spending.
Yes.
Before now. Maybe we were doing 70 or 80% and allocating just 10 and 20% to needs and priorities. So now that we have just 10% and we're right-sizing our finances, this is the sacrifice that I was talking about at the beginning. We got to make the sacrifices, and we got to right-size what we've been doing wrong for all along. So for your dining out, for your concerts, for your shopping, for your gym memberships, for your spa and beauty treatments, for your Netflix and all of these other things, you only have 10%, and you got to make that work.
Yeah.
So that's all we have. So we have 60, 30, 10. And if we break down our monthly income based on this, the thing that I love about it, Shanique, is that when you do it this way, you cover all of your money. Okay?
You do.
Every single dollar that you have in that monthly income is given a job to do. So there's no room for you to do any kind of foolishness with any money because there's nothing extra.
How do you not renegotiate? How do you not renegotiate with yourself to say, okay, yeah, geez, this 10% is just a little much. It's squeezing me in. I gotta make room for a little bit more, and you tip into other areas. How do you stand by that 10%, honor it, and stay within that boundary?
Yes, and this is why I said set is the most important thing. We have to get into the psychology of what we need to do. We've done it wrong. If you have 200 pairs of shoes, I'm sorry. You can only buy 1 or 2 more shoes out of that 10% for the rest of the year. Maybe you bought 40 pairs of shoes in 2024, or you bought 30 pairs in 2023. You can't do that anymore. You got to live within this 10%. If you want to be disciplined, if you're serious about saving and investing, and if you're serious about what the topic for this segment is today, right-sizing your finances, then you got to be serious about this, or you're going to be wrong-sizing your finances.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about right-sizing. So we don't want to wrong-size. That's what we were doing before. So we have to be disciplined and find yourself an accountability partner, just like going to the gym. And accountability partners start with organizations like Young Money Solutions. We're putting out content every day. We're encouraging our followers and people to stay the course in what they're doing. Or you can find a friend or a relative and get them interested in what you're doing as well. And then you can encourage each other and motivate each other and be each other's accountability partners so that you don't fall off.
Now, I know that you service portions of the United States, but can Bahamians get into Young Money Solutions? I mean, because the information that you share is extremely important. Truly, yes. We know our nation needs the help in becoming more disciplined, having a different mindset when it comes to money, all of it. Like, is it just something that is U.S. USA based and stays there?
Well, we're U.S. based in terms of our incorporation, and we're a nonprofit organization incorporated in Florida. Our charter, however, in our charter, we were intentional about putting the areas that we service, and the Greater Caribbean was one of those areas. In our executive team, I'm the CEO of Young Money Solutions, right? Our chief operations officer is from the Bahamas as well. Our VP of administration, her mom is from St. Lucia, and her dad is from Haiti. And our VP of community outreach, his wife is from Panama. So we have the salad represented, right? And so we wanted to touch more than the United States. That's where we're headquartered. That's where we do a lot of the day-to-day. But our charter allows us to expand beyond the borders of the United States, and we have been doing that over the past 7 years that we've been in existence. Bahamians are on our Facebook page, following our content and commenting every day. They're on our Instagram. They're on our LinkedIn. They're attending our webinars and our live streams every month whenever we do them. And they're messaging and calling and asking for one-on-one financial coaching assistance all the time. So I am extremely excited and happy to say that Bahamians can become involved. They can attend our webinars and stuff, and they can follow us on the various social media that I just talked about. So please, Bahamians, please just go online. We spend so much time doing other things. Join Young Money Solutions. Follow us on Instagram, on LinkedIn, and on Facebook so that you can get this content and you can use us as an accountability resource.
Can we have a tease for next week?
Well, next week, I think what we're going to do, Shanique, is we're going to stay with savings. We need to do savings and budgeting a little bit more. I think we're going to look at the zero-based budgeting method, which flows, strategically from the 60-30-10 method that we use today. And so we're going to talk about zero-based budgeting and how you use that method to continue to ensure that you are making every single dollar in your income bucket work for you.
I thank you so much, Howard Johnson from Young Money Solution, an organization, nonprofit, based in the United States, but really has tentacles everywhere, especially in the Caribbean, to help you just feel better about your finances and your decisions this year. Thank you so much, Howard. Looking forward to seeing you next week.
Thank you, Shanique.
And I want to thank all of you for tuning in and hanging out all week long. I certainly enjoyed having you along, and I look forward to seeing you right back here next week for some incredible discussions and shows, interviews, all of it. Until then, I'm Shanique Miller for the entire Beyond the Headlines team. Make it a blessed weekend, everyone.